Dear Esther, I have now driven the stretch of the M5 between Exeter and Bristol over 21 times. But although I have all the reports and all the witnesses, and have cross-referenced them within a millimetre using my Ordnance Survey maps, I simply cannot find the location. You'd think there would be marks to serve as some evidence. It's somewhere between the turn-off for Sanford and the welcome brake services. But although I can always see it in my rear-view mirror, I have as yet been unable to pull ashore.
So we're in Chapter 2, the Buoy. And so far, it just seems like kind of like a shipwreck yard for like broken down boats and such. And I don't really want to go over here yet. I feel like it's going to be the right way, so I want to try to go the wrong way so I can go and explore everything. And I'm not too sure about fall damage. So at this point, that's the only fall that I've taken, so I haven't died yet. Haven't done any damage, so I was like, whatever, man. Just go look at the boats and stuff. And I think this is one of the parts where it's what I was talking about earlier with not being able to explore what you want, kind of like railroading, in the way that I want to get on the ships and I want to explore the ships and all that jazz, and it just simply won't let you. You know, it's like right here in front of me, but there's no jump button, so I can't get on these boxes. It won't do anything. And in a moment, I'm gonna try to get up. It's not gonna work. I'm just be like, ah! It's like, I want to explore. Let me explore. That's basically the only like pet peeve I have with this game, is that it doesn't let you explore. It's like, that's all I want to do. It's like, if you're just gonna try to immerse me into a world and let me do whatever I want, then just let me do it. That's all I want to do, man. But I'm trying to kind of looking around for paths just now, and I wanted to explore this all the way. I'm trying to get up and stuff, see if I can find a way in. I'm just like, nah, I can't find a way in. It's really lame. This thing looks really cool. I'm gonna get up on it. And then there's like there's just like a rock wall here, and you can't go out to the ocean. Just like, bam, you're stuck. What are you gonna do? Can't do anything. Like, come on, invisible wall. Why you curse me? I freaking hate invisible walls. I mean, at least I feel like invisible walls are the dumbest thing ever. I feel like if you're gonna make a wall there, that, I mean, you can't see it, but you can feel it. So you just run into a wall and you're just like, what? It's like, I see things here that I can pass over,
there must be a hole
but
at the bottom of the boat. How else could new hermits have arrived?
it's like you can see things that you can pass over, but apparently you can't. So for whatever reason, kind of like this. It's really dumb. Like, if I actually couldn't pass over it, I don't see why it would be such a big deal to put like a bunch of rocks stacked on top of each other that looks like something that I couldn't climb over, or like, I don't know, maybe like an actual physical wall so I don't just walk into nothing. Like, oh, good example, you could put one of these giant crates in the water and I could run into that, and obviously I can't get on top of that, so that would... Do you see that? The right side of the screen, that black thing. Oh, it's gone. 1 second. That right there. See that black thing up on the cliff? Right? On that side? The black thing? Looks like a person. Yeah, it looks exactly like a person. When you look directly at it, it like disappears. What is that? I'm gonna check that out. I don't know what that is. That's really weird. So it's kind of got that, I guess it's kind of got that amnesia feeling. The only thing that's freaked me out so far is the water. I don't understand the water, because all it does, I don't know. Like, I don't even know what like the shapes in the water are. It's just a really weird effect, and it just kind of freaks you out. It's just like, please stop.
An imagined answer phone message. The tires are flat, the wheel spins loosely, and the brake fluid has run like ink over this map, staining the landmarks and rendering the coastline mute, compromised. Where you saw galaxies, I saw only bruises cut into the cliff by my lack of sobriety.
Apparently this is actually the wrong way. we're not going the right way. I guess the other path over there, but yeah, like that creepy shadow, like there's totally somebody here. You walk over here, there's no one here. Damn. Totally thought I was onto something for once. Man. Nonetheless, shall venture forward and, see where the world takes us. I'm enjoying this quite so far. From what I've heard, it's not actually that long. And I don't actually know much about it, but the last person that I looked up about it said that the game was about 2 hours long, so you can pretty much finish this all in one sitting, from what I understand. And if I'm already on chapter 2, after like 15 minutes, I can see why it wouldn't take all that long. But I guess it would take longer if you're trying to explore everything. If you just want to BS it and go through it really fast, then it would probably get over really fast and not be a big deal. But hey, if you did
I
that,
had kidney stones, and you visited me in the hospital. After the operation, when I was still half submerged in anesthetic, your outline and your speech both blurred. Now my stones have grown into an island and made their escape, and you have been rendered opaque by the car of a drunk.
Yeah, if you were gonna run through the game, I don't see what the point of playing the game would be in the first place. Considering, this isn't a game that you just play through. It's like, why would you waste 2 hours if you're just gonna run through it? You might as well enjoy it, I guess. There's a giant pit over there, I think. Oh, what the crap? There's like a red glow up there. It kind of looks like the red glow from Amnesia. I'm gonna keep saying it's from Amnesia because I know it is. It's made by the same people who are using some of the same effects.
When I first looked into the shaft, I swear I felt the stones in my stomach shift in recognition.
Should we jump? Should we jump? Oh hell, you gotta jump. We gotta know what happens. Ready? Good. There we go. Going in.
Come back.
Oh. So, now we just committed suicide. That's about it. Oh, that's a nice sunflower right there. That's pretty. Yeah, that's really weird. There's like a red fog over that thing. When you get closer, it goes away. That's weird, man. So, this whole place just gives me the chills.
I've begun to climb.
Something not right.
Away from the sea and towards the center. It is a straight line to the summit, where the evening begins to coil around the aerial and squeeze the signals into early silence. The bothy squats against the mount to avoid the gaze of the aerial. I too will creep under the island like an animal and approach it from the northern shore.
So, just gonna look around here. The flashlight's gonna come on. We need to go in our dark places. This place, man, this place is just weird. I don't really know how I would act in this situation. I just came onto an island. There's a creepy narrator talking to me about things that I don't understand. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Just might get creeped out. Might just commit suicide, jump in that hole like I kind of just did. Except my adventure would end there.
The bothy was constructed originally in the early 1700s. By then, shepherding had formalized into a career. The first habitual shepherd was a man called Jakobsen, from a lineage of migratory Scandinavians. He was not considered a man of breeding by the mainlanders. He came here every summer whilst building the bothy, hoping eventually that becoming a man of property would secure him a wife and a lineage. Donnelly records that it did not work. He caught some disease from his malcontented goats and died 2 years after completing it. There was no one to carve white lines into the cliff for him either.
Apparently this game takes multiple playthroughs to actually understand what's going on. Because the ending kind of blows your mind, but freaking just rewatching myself, I still don't even know what the story's talking about. It's just I don't even know what you're talking about, dude. So he just keeps going on and on. I don't know what he's talking about. He's talking in a different language. I'm just what? It's this happened is like, I don't know how any of that's relevant. Over here, I'm just kind of looking at the bay. It's all pretty and stuff. I'm trying to see if there's anything of interest. Actually, there's a path down there, but I want to go explore the house fully first. Gotta explore everything. So we're gonna explore the house really quick and see what we can see. Flashlight. Aha!
When the oil lamps ran out, I didn't pick up a torch, but used the moonlight to read by. When I've pulled the last shreds of sense from it, I will throw Donnelly's book from the cliffs, and perhaps myself with it. Maybe it will wash back up through the caves and erupt from the spring when the rain comes, making its return to the hermit's cave. Perhaps it will be back on the table when I wake. I think I may have thrown it into the sea several times before.
There's nothing in the house. Just a bunch of paint buckets. Go figure. It's like freaking paint buckets everywhere. It's like this guy just has like blue paint everywhere. He's like writing all this gibberish and formulas and stuff in the caves, and I don't even understand. He's so weird. You like that? Like, what the crap, man? It's like a bunch of symbols I don't understand. It's writing on the walls, man. Came from the trees, man. Came from the trees. They're everywhere, man. There's nowhere to run, man. Freaking crazy people. Oh, looks like a nice cave. Wonder if we can go over there and get in that cave. Actually looks like it's kind of a drop off. Maybe we can't. There's a freaking fence here too. See, like that's what I'm talking about. Like, you put a fence here, that makes total sense. If you put a fence up, I can't cross a fence. I mean, technically in real life you can kind of jump a fence, but you know, it's more believable than just a wall of nothing. To be like, you know, hey, you can't go here. Like, oh, there's just a wall of nothing. As opposed to like, hey, you can't go here, there's a fence here. Like, fence, man. Can't cross that fence. We're like, I see, understand. So yeah, it's just more, it's not as dumb for the player. There's nothing more annoying when you're trying to explore something and you just hit an invisible wall and you're just like,
what to make of Donnelly, the laudanum and the syphilis? It is clearly not how he began, but I've been unable to discover if the former was a result of his visiting the island or the force that drove him here. For the syphilis, a drunk driver smashing his insides into a pulp as he stumbled these paths, I can only offer my empathy. We're all victims of our age. My disease is the internal combustion engine and the cheap fermentation of yeast.
Yeah. See, I'm just as lost as you. Don't even ask me. Don't even ask me. I'm not gonna. I don't even know.
They found Jakobsen in early spring. The thaw had only just come. Even though he'd been dead nearly 7 months, his body had been frozen right down to the nerves and had not even begun to decompose. His fingernails were raw and bitten to the quick. They found the phosphorescent moss that grows in the caves deep under the nails. Whatever he'd been doing under the island when his strength began to fail is lost. He'd struggled halfway up the cliff again, perhaps in a delirium, perhaps trying to reach the Bothy's fire before curling into a stone and expiring.
So I would say that they were vivid in their descriptions, but they use such weird words to describe it that it doesn't really get the like picture in your head. Because he talks about like curling up and expiring. It's like that's such a weird way to put it. I mean, it could make sense to other people, maybe. I don't know. Maybe somebody understands that, but that's just not the way that people talk in my world. People just don't talk that way, so it's really awkward to me. So I can understand everything he's saying, but the way that he says it, it's like it sounds like old English to me. Like I don't know if that's just me or if that's like other people get me or what, but like that's just that's how I take it. He's saying words, I understand the words, but they don't translate into pictures in my head, so it's harder for me to understand it. I'm just like, what?
Climbing down to the caves, I slipped and fell and have injured my leg. I think the femur is broken. It is clearly infected. The skin has turned a bright, tight pink, and the pain is crashing in on waves, winter tides against my shoreline, drowning out the ache of my stones. I struggled back to the bothy to rest, but it has become clear that there is only one way this is likely to end. The medical supplies I looted from the trawler have suddenly found their purpose. They will keep me lucid for my final ascent.
Seems like one of the first times that what I was looking at actually had something to do with what he was saying. So there's a bunch of random clothes here, a trunk. You could easily tell that he fell from the cliff up there and this is where he landed. The story makes sense for a brief moment. You know, I can follow that. It's like pictures, man. Pictures help me. Pictures is what I get things out of. It's how I understand things. So when you're just like talking about stuff that I don't even know what you're talking about, and there's nothing like represented. I'm just like, I don't even know. It's like, what are you saying? Please speak English better. Like, like that kind of thing. Oh, I get stuck behind the boulder. Yeah, that's a bad boulder. Stupid boulder. Hi, looks like there's something in here. It's blue. There's bits of water. This is kind of neat. There's a candle. Somebody must have been here recently. There's water drops and there's sunlight. So maybe we should go down there. So, 3, 2, 1, jump!